Welcome to DrBlackPeople.com. I know he said we gotta cut it out, but I think it's going to be great. Yeah, so here is Pastor T. Roy. All right, everybody. Welcome to BlackPeople.com.
Man, welcome. Hey, we just excited that you're here.
Today is a special day. It is actually Dr. Martin Luther King Day.
It is MLK Day.
Did y'all go to the parade?
Oh man, I heard and I knew it was a success and those that was out there. Hopefully we get some footage because I really wanted to be out there with y'all.
Yeah, sorry we missed it. So we're going to go ahead and get into the topic. So today's topic is dreaming. Dr. Martin Luther King had a dream. What is your dream?
Okay.
Or more so, what is your vision? Is what we kind of want to know. Okay?
Yeah. Well, I think the dream is important because I think we know Dr. Martin Luther King for that famous speech, I had a dream.
Right.
And I think it's real important that if we can take anything from his life, is that because he had a vision, a dream, it came to pass. We're starting to see the legacy of his dream come to pass as we are living it out right now.
Slowly but surely.
Yeah, I'm telling you. So, it's important that you have a dream.
Yes, absolutely. All right, so the first part of dream, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. I'm a therapist and this is what I do.
Okay.
So sometimes, I don't want to really just, lecture people on what they should do.
Right.
I just ask questions. So the first question
Sure.
I'm going to ask is your health. What is your dream for your health?
Your health.
Are you where you want to be? Are you healthy as you want to be?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on now. I know you ate a couple of things. We had Christmas? No, it started off in Thanksgiving, then Christmas, then New Year's, and here we are on Dr. Martin Luther King Day. So how much of that, with the extra calories? Are you exercising? Do you have high blood pressure? Do you have sugar diabetes? You have the sugars. That's what they call it. The sugars. He got the sugars.
Yeah.
So, are you drinking enough water? Are you getting enough sleep?
Right.
All of that. Are you taking your vitamins?
Right.
All of that you need to make sure you have in control and under, in 2022.
Right.
Because, you already fighting, a lot of us are fighting, being around people with the pandemic.
Right.
We don't need to have health issues as well. So,
and our culture always get hit the worst when it's any kind of sickness or disease. We always, because of the lack of health care and accessibility to health care, we always get the brunt. No insurance, get the brunt of it. So it's very important that you take care of yourself. Don't rely on the government. Take care of yourself. Have a health goal that you are obtainable, that you can start doing in your house with your family.
Yeah, exercising. I forgot to say that.
Oh, yeah. Have an exercise goal.
And then if you don't like to exercise, go ahead and do something fun. Like, like play basketball. That's actually exercise. Yoga, that's exercise.
I actually did it. I tried to play basketball, but, some started popping and, you know what I'm saying, and slipping. You know what I'm saying? I said I better play with the over 40.
You're supposed to stretch, that's why. All right, so we're gonna go into the next one, relationships. Okay,
right.
So you heard us talk about a lot of relationships,
right?
Or a lot about relationships. Right. Are you where you want to be? If not, what is your goal?
Yeah. What's your goal?
Like, do you want to be, single for 2022? If you do, that's okay. Don't let nobody tell you it's not okay.
Right.
It is okay for you to get yourself together.
No,
get yourself together first. You don't want to come, because if you get into a relationship and you're not right, then it ain't gonna work anyway.
Right, it may not work. Yeah, true.
So relationship. Now I'm talking about relationship, like romantic relationships. Do you want a boo? Do you want a babe? Or do you want a dog? Or a puppy, or a chipmunk, or a squirrel, whatever. Whatever you want.
Right.
Relationships at your job. If you're not, you got to get that together too. Relationships with your siblings. Or y'all not talking. Or is somebody talking behind their back. Relationship with your mom, dad. They don't last forever. Your friends. If you're not talking to somebody still in 2022, shame on you. Stop it.
And it's very important. We're talking about dreams now. Nothing limits you to dream. You see what I'm saying? Only you limit your dream. So don't look at it as this is unattainable. But if that's your dream, to be married or be single or to take your family to Disneyland, all y'all go together, then hey, those things are obtainable because your dream and vision it will come to pass. You just have to put it on paper, confess it, look at it, and you'll begin to see.
Google it.
Right, you start seeing those things happen for you. So it's important that you have it.
So yeah, in relationships, that's attainable too. What I want you to do at the end of this show, if you have an estranged relationship and it is not toxic, it will be healthy for you to reach out to that person.
Right.
Call that person after the show. I'm so serious because you never know what's happening. We already in a pandemic, but we're gonna go ahead. That kind of segues into family. What are your family goals? Now, if your family all what do you call it? It's toxic, but dysfunctional. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. If your family dysfunctional, try to figure out a plan slowly but surely to get that together.
Right.
Okay, and your family goals. Family vacation, family reunion. What do you want to do with your family? Okay,
right.
Do y'all want to start going to church together? Do y'all want to start doing church in the house together?
Right.
What do y'all want to do is what we are asking you guys. What is your dream, your vision for your family?
Right, and a lot of people don't understand that how your relationship goes, sometimes how your life goes. And it just adds stress and different things. So if you be able to balance and be able to have healthy relationships, then you can be healthy. A lot of times we're trying to be healthy and we have toxic relationships, and you have to identify those things, but you gotta, you didn't ask to be born to that family. So I tell people you can't throw your family away like you can throw a friend or things like that.
Do that
yeah, I mean, your family, you was born there, so you didn't have any choice when you came in. And so you need to put the effort in doing what you can to try to mend those relationships, because it's important that you have healthy relationship with all your family. And it may be from a distance. If it's from a distance, love them from a distance, but you still have a healthy relationship with them.
Yeah, and guess what? Your children looking. You think that the beef between you and that person, your sibling, your family is not. They're looking and they're watching. And if you don't watch it, they're gonna grow up and do the same thing because mama did it, and it's okay. She's not dead. So moving on, finances. You gotta make sure your finances right in the two. Okay. So your credit, is it jacked up? If it is, fix it. Okay.
You always can work on your credit. Always.
Yeah, and savings. Do you have $5 in your savings account? Do you even have a savings account?
Right.
Put some in there, And sometimes, you don't have to use the bank to save some money. I'm just gonna say that.
Right.
Just you don't have to use the bank all the time. Okay. Finances. You want to start some investments. Go ahead. This is the year. This is the year for investments. Housing. Y'all know I'm a real estate agent as well. The mortgage lending rates are very low. They're the record low. So check it out. Give me a call if you need me. Okay. I usually don't plug myself, but why not? In the two. Okay. Last but not least, education. Where are you in your educational goals? Do you want to get your associates, your bachelor's, your master's, or your doctorate? Go ahead. Do you want them to call you Dr. Hines or Dr. Amerson? Okay, so that's if that's the case, you need to figure out what you need to do. Your financial aid, fill out your FAFSA, all that other stuff. Right. I'm not going to get too much into that because that's another podcast. And maybe you don't want a degree. Maybe you just want to educate yourself and do some self-help. Barnes and Noble, I just plugged somebody. Y'all excuse me. I'm going to probably try to edit that out. They didn't pay me no money to say their name.
Barnes and Noble,
right. And then you said it too. Yeah, he didn't say it. No.
Free advertising.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but anyway, that's education. Did you have anything you want to say about education?
One thing I want to say about finances is that in
finance. Go back to finances.
Yeah,
okay.
just one thing. Just one thing.
That's important.
In finances, you want to make sure that you're not working for your money, that your money is working for you.
Oh.
So you got to look at your money as you tell your money where to go. It's the servant of you. You're not the servant to money.
Oh.
And what I want our culture to get to understand is that, it's about getting the bag sometime, but you need to understand that the bag don't run your life. You have to tell your money where to go. So if you're not telling your money where to go, your money is running you. And most time you don't know where it's going. So you need to know that. And then the second thing on education is a lot of us, especially in our culture, in our community, is that we think that because we didn't start off right, that we can't end right. It don't matter how old you are. You can be 50, 40, 30 years old. I don't care if you dropped out of high school, whatever you did.
And you got a GED.
Go back to school. Educate yourself. Education is power. You know, and so you got to educate yourself so that you can have the power and the opportunities that come with education that our culture is lacking. So don't let that be an excuse for a person not to advance, education. So I'm not talking about just formal education or like she was saying, but a lot of times it's educating yourself. You can get on Google, you can get on YouTube and educate yourself. Always educate yourself. I always tell people, if you stop learning, guess what? You stop growing. So you got to continue to teach yourself, educate yourself, because we need to grow as a community. And I want to see you be the best version of yourself, okay?
I want to say something. I hear what you're saying about education, and but I think a lot of times, a lot of people don't want to get a formal education because it's expensive,
Right.
and they can start a business. So instead, educate yourself on starting a business.
Exactly.
That way you can your money can work for you.
Exactly.
And you get real good, you can start making money in your sleep. Right?
Have it work for you.
Yeah, so that's it for,
Okay.
your vision and your dream. We're going to cut to commercial.
All right.
And we'll see y'all in a little bit, okay?
All right. See y'all later.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. So,
It's your turn.
about 2 minutes.
No,
How
you
long
can
is the
start
commercial?
now.
So you're
Oh.
gonna be able to do that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, we start already. Okay. Okay. All right.
Welcome back
welcome
to
back.
blackpeople.com. Oh, we didn't
Blackpeople.com.
even introduce ourselves.
Oh,
I am
my
the
goodness.
first American
Excuse us.
Duchess.
I am Pastor T. Roy. We love y'all,
And
black
this
people.
is blackpeople.com.
Yeah,
For those of y'all who were joining us just now, we
Mhm.
talked about Dr. Martin Luther King and his dream, and now we're talking about your dream. So
right, and
yeah.
so we just shifted right here. We want to, bring some, some topics that deal with what we're dealing with today, and that's civil rights. One thing that Martin Luther King did for us is that he advocated and pushed the civil rights movement. So
true.
Not only did he have a dream, the dream was that everybody would be treated equally and fairly,
equality
and things of that nature. And
we're not quite there yet, but
we get it. You know what I'm saying? He had a dream. It's not fulfilled yet, but he had a dream that would happen. And the civil rights that was passed, in 1964, by Lyndon Johnson, really kind of undercap what Martin Luther King Jr. was pushing, is the civil rights movement. And there are a lot of people don't know the civil rights and the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment was really for us. So, we're not to take that lightly, because the whole purpose of civil rights was that we could be treated fairly and equally, that you couldn't discriminate between race, color, sex, or any type of religion or whatever the case is, but you was judged by the character of your life. So that's what Martin Luther King Jr. really pushed for us, is that we're not judged by the color of our skin or male or female or whatever the case is.
Right.
And civil rights really push that right there. So in 1964, when it was passed, he really pushed it, and that's what all the things that was going on with it was there.
Okay. So there's two civil rights that I guess amendments or rights that we have that we think that we need to really touch on today. So Pastor.
Right. Well, one is the civil rights of dealing with, and I just want y'all to understand that in 1960, it was a civil rights pass where it was a voting right, because you understand that us as a culture we didn't have the right to vote, and women didn't have the right to vote. So they had to pass that in 1960 and then 1964, and then they also have civil rights so that we could be treated fairly, like due process of law, things of that nature. So it's important to know your rights. Okay, so one thing that we want to bring up is in our community, a lot of times because we don't know our civil rights, guess what happens? If you're ignorant of the law, then they can tell you anything.
Yeah.
You know, so when you're dealing with the law, you need to know your rights, and one of them is knowing your rights when you're dealing with the authorities, the police officers.
Popos.
You know what I'm saying? When you're dealing with them, you need to know your rights. You know what you're able to do. Are you required to show your identification? Are you required to let them in your house? Are you required to allow them to search your car? You know, these are all rights that we have as
So what's the answer?
Here.
I'm ready for this. What's the answer?
Well, the civil rights gives us the right of due process. That is that nobody can deem us guilty of anything. In other words, they can't come into your house and treat you like a criminal or
so do you even have to, if they come knocking on your door, do you even have to open your door? The police come and knock on your door.
Well, listen, let me say something. I'm not a lawyer.
Okay? And I'm not either. Okay, I am a therapist now.
So a lot of times, when you get into the law, you need to really understand, study the law, and find out. And
ask a lawyer, get your own lawyer, but we're here for entertainment purposes, giving you a heads up.
So what I would say is that a police officer has to identify himself, and he has to show you identification. So not only saying I'm the police officer, he can be dressed all up, whatever, and have a badge, but you have the right to validate that he is a police officer and call his supervisor before you do anything that he says. He says he has a warrant to come into your house, then you have the right to ask for that warrant.
But I'm trying to figure out, do I even have to open the door? Because you can use your peephole, look through there, see it's them, and be like, right, I gotta go use the restroom.
Well, that's where you get into the law. You really have to find out. Now, if you acknowledge and they know you're there, then you could be breaking the law by not letting them in, and they can get you on that. Or
Lord,
or whatever the case is.
You just gonna come to my house, knock on the door, and I'm gonna open it.
But that warrant,
right.
That warrant should state exactly what they're able to do and what they can do by law. So they have to show you that warrant. And they have the right to sit there and read it and see if they have the right to do what they do. So you always have to do. When I tell my children, when they deal with the law, you get stopped by the police officer on the road and things of that nature. Always put your hand 10 to 2, okay? And also let him know what you're doing. But if he asks for your identification, you ask him, why was I stopped? He's under law to tell you why you have been stopped or why you've been violated for whatever traffic law it is. So you have the right to ask that, and then you don't have to give him your identification unless he's detaining you. Okay? So you need to know whether or not you're being under arrest, being detained, all this other stuff, and then they can get your ID. So knowing those civil rights and knowing the law really, really helps our community out, because you have certain rights that has been given to you, but you need to know those rights.
Inalienable rights.
Right.
So
exactly.
You know what? I'm thinking we need to bring a real lawyer on. You gave us some valuable information, some information that I didn't even know. But we will do our best to bring a lawyer on.
Right,
on
a lawyer to really, maybe you can ask some questions.
Because I have some more questions. I need to know, do I need to open this door, or can I just act like I'm not at home?
Right, but that's what you need to do, is you need to make sure you know the law. Ask a lawyer, ask a civil lawyer, or whatever the case is, exactly what you're able to do. I only can share a little bit of what I know, but I'm not an attorney. We're not attorneys, so you can't go on what we say as law. But we will have one on, and then also you need to ask.
But I will tell you this: if you have a choice between getting a public defender and a private lawyer, if you can afford it, get you a private lawyer, please.
Right.
Do that. Okay. All right. That we got that straight. Okay.
Right.
I done heard some things about some public defenders that I will not repeat, but you're going to find out for yourself. Google it. Okay.
Right.
All right. So that's it. We're gonna go to commercial again. We'll be right back.
Okay. Let's do it.
Blackpeople.com.
All right. See y'all in a minute. We're gonna go right back into it.
So the next will be the trending topic.
Okay.
It's down there.
All right.
All right. So welcome back. Welcome back. Blackpeople.com. We're still here. And thank you for joining us again.
And staying with us.
We went into some civil liberties. We talked about us not being lawyers, that you should get your own lawyer, but we talked about a couple of things that might be of your interest.
Right. And you need to study those laws and you need to find out for yourself, okay?
And we're going to try to get a lawyer on the scene because I have some questions. I do.
Right.
So we're going to get into the trending topic. Y'all, do y'all know? I know y'all remember the story about Ahmaud Arbery and how some people, they shot him. They shot and killed Ahmaud Arbery.
Okay.
He was just running through the neighborhood. I don't know why he was running, but he was running, and a father and a son and a neighbor decided they wanted to be vigilantes, to my knowledge, and they shot him. The son shot him. I believe the father sat and let him do it. I think that's how it went. And then the neighbor just kind of was tagging along. Well, anyway, they gave them felony murder charge, okay? So the father and the son, I was told, will never, ever